Hi everyone, I thought I'd just do a quick video blog to give you an update on some of the successes and failures coming out of COP18 here in Doha. So first, let's go with the positive, let's go with the successes. There were some, yes, there were. The first being the gender policy that was put through. The gender campaigners did a fantastic job of getting it in there. It was proposed by the EU and it focuses on how gender balance can be achieved within the UKYCC and how gender can have a focus when talking about climate change. This isn't something that's ever had a specific area before, so it's a big win to see it in there. And as we all know, women are one of the groups that are going to be most vulnerable and most starkly hit by climate change. So it's a really fantastic step in the right direction to see it being put in there, and massive congrats to everyone who's been working on it. Another success was Article 6, although it's not quite what we wanted from it. Article 6 is on education and climate change, and it was actually my policy focus. But we had some really fantastic engagement with some of the negotiators and managed to put something together that was quite positive. We ensured that there were focal points within the system, and what this means that in every nation there'll be a focal point who's focusing on implementing Article 6, so implementing education and around climate change. And because of this, there's going to be accountability in the system, and we hope that it will give us a platform for civil society to continue to engage on, to ensure that actually education is delivered so that we can have greater capacity building around climate change, which is, as we know, incredibly important to solving the solution, especially, I'm sure you'll realise when I start talking about some of the failures here, sadly, that we've seen. The third success, just to touch on quickly, is the fantastic experience of working with so many wonderful, inspiring, empowering international youth. The COP began, or just before the COP, was the COY, the Conference of Youth, which I was involved in organising, and it was just wonderful to see all these passionate people achieving so much and going to such great lengths to really fight for us young people, for future generations, for vulnerable people, especially some of the stories coming out of the developing countries. It was really quite touching and difficult at times, but also incredibly powerful and something to really hold on to push us forward and to really give us motivation to keep up the fight. It was also amazing to hear the story of the AYCM, which is the Arab Youth Climate Movement, which has just been recently formed out of the conference being here in Doha. So they have just achieved so much in such a short amount of time, and some of the stories were just crazy with people. You know, there's so much tension in this region at the moment, and people going to such great lengths to, despite that tension, knowing that we have to focus on climate change and we have to be working on it so that we can ensure that we have a world to live in for future generations. And it was fantastic to see. Failures, unfortunately, contrary to perhaps some media, we can't see this COP as a success. We can see successes in this COP, but it's not a success. It's been hailed as a success because it didn't collapse, because something was made, a decision was made. But actually, and quite terrifyingly, that kind of success, it's really tragic, because what it does is it condones the locking in of effectively a violation of human rights. The policies that are there do not move us away from a 6-degree world. They don't move us towards just a 2-degree change. It's beyond that, and what we are doing is saying that developing countries and other people in the world are not worth it. The international community has effectively sanctioned policy that allows for the violation of human rights and allows for people's lives to be lost, allows for destruction, and allows for some nations to completely disappear. It's really difficult to talk about. It's really difficult to engage with people and to hug and hold your trembling, sobbing friend who knows that they are losing their homeland. I mean, it's not something that we can allow for. It's terrifying, and then to see your minister, who you feel, you know, they've been elected by the people in your own country, standing at a press conference and saying, you know, it's fantastic news that we've got a deal. This is great for the climate. Is just even worse. I mean, how can he stand there and say that just because he's had a political win, in the way that, yes, the UK did work hard and I appreciate the extent of their work, but I don't think they can acknowledge that as a success. It's crass. is distasteful, and it doesn't protect the most vulnerable, and it's not something that we can ever be on side with. But of course, I'm not the sort of person, and nor is the sort of people in this movement to be giving up. None of us are going to be giving up. We are all going to be moving forward and taking this anger and this hurt and this understanding that I think sometimes proximity can really bring to the fore and allow us to be galvanized in what we're doing and to move forward with other projects or similar projects, but just to build on what we've been doing. One thing I think that we can do in civil society is look more to how we use the UN as a platform, as in terms of the policy. So, for example, Article 6, the policy isn't strong enough, but what can civil society do to make sure that it's implemented in a stronger way? There is a role that we can play, and the Article 6 working group are really keen to follow through on this, and I'm really hopeful for what we're going to do next. The other thing is global power shift is coming. I'm really excited about this. This is effectively bringing together campaigners, new and old, from across the world, to learn, be skilled up, so that they can then go home and run power shifts in their own country. And a power shift is a big capacity building summit. And we really do need to grow this movement if we have any chance of affecting some positive change. And I think we will. I believe we will. I know that we will. So there are exciting things moving forward. I'm going to leave it at that for the moment. I think it's going to be tough for me when I come home to try and share this experience with people and really try and engage people to understand what it really means. Climate change can feel so far away, and it's not. It's affecting us all now, and it's affecting us in different ways. But I really hope that I can find a way to come home with this story and use it to inspire people to become part of this movement that is so key to tackling climate change. And I hope that you will join me in that process. Thank you.